Thanks once again. I want to take this opportunity to talk on the problem that is facing our members at Postal Corporation of Kenya. For those of you who don't know, we are going through a very, very difficult problem involving our employees at Postal Corporation of Kenya for the last 5 years. And we have been trying as a union to try to save the situation, but it appears we have not been able to succeed. So we want to talk to the management of Postal Corporation of Kenya, the board of directors, and the government that owns this organization to find solutions, and I say permanent solutions, for solving the problem of Postal Kenya employees. First, I want to thank the government of Kenya for considering Postal Corporation of Kenya as one of the parastatals that will be given some funding to allow it to be reorganized, reformed, so that it can be able to go back to its business as is under the law. This is something that we cannot miss saying, because we are aware that many parastatals have been either merged together or closed completely. But we are grateful to the Kenyan government, and particularly the head of state, for considering letting Postal Corporation Kenya to stay, remain afloat, and provide a system in place to allow its transformation process to go on. That is the way forward for this organization. We also want to note with a lot of gratefulness that we have been told also through a gazette, a Kenya Gazette, last December, which talked about PCK going to be one of the government-operated enterprises. Again, that is in the right direction for this organization. Postal is still a very viable organization. All it requires is the government involvement into how to fund it so that it does its operation. The other thing is how the government can appoint the directors that would be able to run this organization. And above all, if the government, as we have seen in some of the correspondences from the Treasury, is that how they can be allowed to go into a semi-government operation, so that they allow some investors to come in, so that they can also put in some funding that can help this organization to be revived. As you are aware, Postal Corporation of Kenya employs more than 2,000 employees. And so we are fearing that unless something is done, there's a possibility that we can lose 2,000 employees, which means that by extension, behind the same 2,000, we could be having another 5,000 to 6,000 employees, Kenyans, that will suffer as a result of losing employees in Postal Corporation of Kenya. So we must laud the action by the government for allowing this transformation to take off, and we are sure that the management will be inviting the union soon, and I want to confirm that the management of PCK through the CEO have invited this union, and there will be meetings being held next month where the union being fully involved to discuss the fate of PCK employees, present and past. I'm saying past also because we know that there are pension funds that have not been submitted to the pension scheme. We know there are debts that remain uncleared belonging to SACCO, belonging to the banks, which need to be discussed so that we get assured that the money that is owed to employees will be recovered in good time. The other issue that we must address is that currently we have the 5 months salary, not about 6 months salary unpaid, and there were promises that money would be paid by the end of last month. We are aware that this money has not been paid. I want to make a sincere appeal to the manager of post office to make sure that this money is paid as soon as possible. And where they need assistance from the government, we are also insisting that the government, through the relevant ministry, to the treasury, and in this case, even the president of this country, to intervene so that the all unpaid money belonging to Postal Corporation, particularly money that is owed to PCK by Huduma, which is we are told on record is 1.5 billion Kenya shillings and paid for the last 10 years. We also know that over 298 million shillings is also owed to PCK by IEBC since 2022 elections. This is very unfair. If this money cannot be paid yet, employees are not getting their salaries for months on end, and they are expected to go to place of work and continue working. It's unfortunate, and particularly when this money is owned by government-owned agencies. We also want to appeal to the Treasury to help PCK to recover monies owed, particularly on box rentals and other things. There are some places where the ministry, the ICT ministry, have taken over premises and offices for the purpose of operating the hub. I think you call them ICT hubs. And many premises have been taken, but they are not paid for. Some of them are not operating, and yet the post office employees are languishing in poverty. I think if this is done, then it will be very easy for us now as a union to go and address the PCK workers that yes, this has now been done. Can we go back to work? Can we work effectively and be able to get funding so that when we get our own funds, we shall not in the future be looking for funds from the government. We should be able to stand on our own. A hungry worker is an angry worker. There's no way you expect them to give you services. But I'm sure people who have worked for 5 years without salary, if you give them money today, these people should be able to produce. I want to appeal to the board of PCK, the management of PCK, that at a point in time, once this problem is solved, the PCK employees should be rewarded. Because I've never seen anywhere in the globe, in the whole world, where people would work for 5, 6, 7, 8 months without salary, and they continue trekking to the offices and work. This is a record, and they must be rewarded. How they will be rewarded is up to PCK and the government to decide. We shall support in whatever way they are rewarded. Let me appeal to PCK employees that all is not lost. It has been a difficult time for you people. It's going to be more difficult, particularly if the government does not act fast. But I want to believe that within this week, something is going to be positive. In the meantime, I know some of you are working. Just continue working. But I want to put it in a record, even if people will not like it. If you don't have money to go to the office, stay at home. Because there's no way how you will be expected to go and work, yet you don't get paid. But for those of you who can work, we thank you so much for supporting us. We thank you for supporting Postal Corporation of Kenya, and we hope that PCK management will reciprocate and be able to pay you your dues.